Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is a totally different video than normal. It's not about board games, that's the spoiler. This has nothing to do with board games at all. Honestly, right about now, if you're like, I'm not here for a video that's not about board games, I respect that. There are 7,000 other videos on the channel, you can check them all out. In the meantime, this video is about my 10 favorite things that aren't board games. People excluded for simplicity's sake and for a lack of hurt feelings. So no people, no board games, everything else that I can think of, mostly, and Chinese food. Number 11 is going to be Chinese food, but I don't have that on the table here. So let's start off with number 10 instead. Let's make number 10 about, and I'll have links to whatever I can down below. If they are Amazon commission links, if I'm able to, I'll do it, because if you do want any of these things, I may as well get something out of it. But also, these are my like 11 favorite things, or 10 favorite things, 11 including Chinese food, no link to that. And also, many of these you can't get on Amazon, so they're just my favorite things. They're things that bring joy to my life that I like that aren't board games. I know it's so weird because I like board games primarily, first and foremost. Oh, also not video games. Let's take video games out of the conversation, because I do like some video games. Oh, I forgot something. Darn it. Number 12. Darn it. Give me a second to go get one more thing that I forgot that's part of the list. Sorry with that. I just said my favorite things and I said not video games, and I remembered that I'm actually going to include a video game category on the list. That's going to be my Oculus Quest over here. My Oculus Quest is going to be my number 11. Yeah, that's my number 11. My Oculus Quest is my number 11, and that's because this is so much fun. I don't play with it nearly enough, but when I do play video games, they're usually one of two categories. They're usually things like Slay the Spire or Splice and Dice. I've really been enjoying Splice and Dice on my phone right now. It's a little phone app. You can try it free, and then once you're hooked, it'll cost you $7. I'm sorry. Also, if you're watching this channel on a regular basis, I am probably costing you more than $7 anyways. But with that said, this over here is my Oculus Quest, and I think it is so much fun to actually throw on a proper VR headset, look around the world that you're in, and just be amazed at the sense of involvement, of just immersiveness that you have within the worlds that they create. Beat Saber is excellent for jumping into something quick and fun and simple without overly investing into a large game. Beyond Death, I think it's called Beyond Death, is also another one that's a great little archer game. You're wandering around. There are a bunch of games you can play, but they all have that aspect in which you are in a world. You are no longer in your living room. You're no longer in your basement. You just whacked your brother in the face. He's crying, but you can't hear him because of how immersed you are. Alternatively, you just put a plank on the floor and you're stepping off the edge of a plank, and instead you fall off a skyscraper. They are a lot of fun. I recommend the Oculus Quest immensely. It's just a good time. I totally forgot about it. I said video games, and I remember that this should definitely be on the list. My number 10 is going to be something which I don't actually have an indicator for, although well, it goes hand in hand with my number 9, but my number 10 is going to be ChatGPT. Now, first of all, I know that anything AI is a touchy subject right now. Anything to do with artificial intelligence is a touchy subject because there are people who are understandably concerned about the impact both on their jobs from a practical stance and then also on the conversations around whether it's theft or copyright infringement and all those things. Those are more intricate conversations that I'm not heavily going to get into this video so as to keep things focused. But I will say that ChatGPT, which is specifically the one which you can talk to a computer, have a conversation, ask them questions, and it's basically like a search engine who's had way too many drugs and is way overpowered. Very, very cool, although less up to date than a search engine. I found that to be tricky, and also they lie to you sometimes with a high degree of confidence. ChatGPT is not perfect. ChatGPT is like your best friend who happens to know everything, but also doesn't like getting caught out being wrong, and so sometimes they just answer confidently even though they don't know things. But they usually are a very good reference point. You just have to understand that sometimes it's worth a Google after the fact. But they're very cool. They're very cool for ideas, for brainstorming, for taking an email idea. Hey, you want to write an email to a coworker? You want to sit there and say, you know what? Can you go ahead and let's do these 5 bullet points. I'd like to counter his point. You can take a coworker's email. You can plug into ChatGPT and you can say, how can I politely counter his point while pointing out that points A, B, and C are wrong? And you'll get an email like that. Your coworker will then take that email, pop into ChatGPT, and say, can you take this long email and extrapolate it down to 5 bullet points for me? So you can both pretend to be professional while ultimately looking at a much simpler conversation. ChatGPT does wonders. I think it's very cool. There's a free version, there's a paid version. I've started using the paid version because of how often I use it. I haven't noticed a significant enough difference that I think I'm going to go back to the free version. I just don't care about the paid version enough. I've heard some friends told me it was amazing. I haven't seen a practical difference. If anything, it seems to lie to me more. But anyways, ChatGPT is a wonderful tool that, again, might take your job in the future. That's a different conversation and a more complicated conversation. But for right now, for today, it's very interesting and useful to have something in front of you that you can utilize and is so good at so many things. It's about learning how to use the tool. Whether it's about me writing an Instagram post and saying, hey, ChatGPT, can you come up with like 20 hashtags for this Instagram post? Saving me the time, copy and paste format, all those things are possible. There's so much flexibility. My number 9 is going to be another machine over here. This time I do have a visual aid because this time it's Alexa, who I unplugged for the sake of this conversation. I mean, I have like 17 plugged upstairs, but this is my downstairs basement Alexa. This is the thing that controls my basement. When I say, Alexa, now recording, it does all the stuff with the lights and things, but I can't do that right now because it's unplugged. You see, that's the thing. AI can't really take your job. You can just unplug it at any point. And yes, that's a joke. It's more complicated than that, I understand. But Alexa, it's not that I like Alexa. It's that rather I like home automation, specifically the lights. I have all my lights set up to do whatever I want, whenever I want. At a verbal phrase, you can set different things. You can say good morning, and you can have a song popping on your Alexa, your favorite song, or a variety of your favorite songs, plus the light goes on in your bedroom, light goes down downstairs, all the bathroom lights go from being dim to full because you have them on dim during the whole night in case your kids wake up and go to the bathroom. Whatever situation you need or want, you can set these to do. For my filming setup, I say now recording, and like 7 or 8 lights go on and off or to different settings based on what I want. I get into bed at night and there's no like walking up to get the light switch, there's just turning off the light switch. Although, when you do have Wi-Fi issues in your house and the internet is down, you suddenly have to walk around to every single light switch like a heathen, and it is obnoxious. You get used to a home that is completely automated as far as the lighting goes, and it becomes incredibly obnoxious to actually have to live and deal without it. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Now my number 10 over here, number 7, 8, up to 7, 8. Jeez. My number 8 over here is board game adjacent, and my number 8 specifically is my Stream Deck foot pedal. This is something that just makes my life so easy, which is why I love it so much. This over here, it's a little foot pedal, and it goes under my desk. It's under my desk right now. I can't show you what it does right now because this video is a very front-facing video, but when I'm doing a review or a playthrough, rather than having to spend 2.5 hours editing that hour-long playthrough, and by the way, 2.5 hours to edit an hour-long playthrough, that's arguably quick depending on who you are. There are people who are faster, there are people who are slower. That's decently quick. But, and that's because I don't do a ton of fancy stuff, I just do top shot, front shot, and all that. But instead of having to do all that, I can just tap this foot pedal as I play. So as I'm doing my hour-long playthrough, I tap the pedal, it goes from front to top, front to top, front to top, and it's all being edited as I film. That's one of of many ways that I can do like the 18 videos a week I do and not fall apart while also having a family, game-found job, and play board games. And there's part of that's because every video I do, there's less editing. There's still editing, there's still the occasional cleanup, there's still front and ends, there's still things to do. It's not nothing, but it takes a giant chunk out of the work out of my playthroughs. If you are a content creator, I recommend getting used to this. It takes a little bit of muscle memory the first few times you dive in. It's a little bit hard to play a game while tapping the foot pedal appropriately, but it's gotten to the point now that if I play a game at this table without recording anything, my foot is naturally moving towards the pedal. Whenever I roll the dice or when I do something cinematic and I want the top camera on, my foot naturally moves there. It's like typing. Your body learns, your body remembers, and you want to start using it a certain way. This is a time saver to the nth degree. It's the main thing on this list that's all about the saving of time as opposed to an actual enhancement. It's just that it's so efficient at saving me time. I mean, it's so efficient. This took a person's job. Editing could be a person's job. This took that away. For $100, it took it away. That's how this video would come with taking people's job. We're going to move on. We're going to move on to my number 7 this time. My number 7 is going to be something you don't see often. You've seen this probably in one video. My Isofarian Guard video. I just tapped button. I did, but it's not on. It's okay. This is my JBL Flip. This is something that I got for $35 on Amazon, and for $35, it is a hefty punch of noise. This is a Bluetooth headset that I don't use that often. Occasionally when I travel, I bring it with me. Once in a while, if I'm playing through the Isofarian Guard, I want some table presence. There are situations in which I have this up, and it's not that often. Maybe it gets turned on once a month, occasionally goes on a trip with me, whatever it is. But when I do have it, I'm so grateful that the $35 I spent on this boombox in my hand, it's good. No, really, this is good. Like, if you want any sort of good audio quality, it has a nice bass, like it's thumping away. This is loud, it is satisfying, it is, if you like music, if you like good audio quality, if you like playing the Isofarian Guard, I guess it's semi-board game adjacent, the JBL Flip is a delightful $35 tool that is really enhanced just one small aspect of my life. My number 6 is going to be, where do we go from here? My number 6 is going to be a combination of two things, okay? It's going to be a combination of TSA PreCheck, which I don't have a thing for, I don't have a presence for, but I do have another travel-related thing that I'm going to throw into the mix. So we're really at like 13 things, but TSA PreCheck is a lifesaver. Now, I don't recommend it if you're traveling once in a while, but if you are traveling more frequently, if you're flying 2 or 3 times a year, spending the $75 for TSA PreCheck, no link down below that you can, like, no commission link at least, maybe I'll throw down a link, I don't know, but it basically saves you so much time and mental stress. It both allows you to go to the airport later and be less stressed if you're even later than you planned on, because you can pop through TSA in, generally in my experience, 5 max 10 minutes when the normal line is anywhere from 10 to 45 minutes, or sometimes even longer than that. TSA PreCheck, despite being something that millions of Americans use, or millions of, I guess, more than just Americans use, but despite the amount of people who do use it, there's still far more who don't, which means it's still a shorter line. $75 for 5 years of just access through that line makes all your travel stress and headaches less so. If you're traveling more than a few times a year, or even a few times a year, if you're traveling more than once a year through the airport, I do recommend TSA PreCheck as something that will save you time, effort, and energy. It will cost you money, and you will have to go get an appointment, whatever it is. Online, it's like 5 minutes, but then you have to drive to like some local thing, then pay to do the whole situation. It's not a lot of work to get up and running. Honestly, you'll save back that time in 2 flights to the airport, and then after that, at that point, you're just saving time, mental energy, and stress. Also, going to an appointment is less stressful than having to show up to an airport an hour and a half earlier just in case you have to deal with a long TSA line. I love TSA PreCheck, and hand in hand with that, I'm going to include my travel dolly in the conversation. This over here is a travel dolly, okay? It extends nicely over here. We got this nicely extended, and then it goes ahead, and this opens up as well. Let's go ahead and do this. This opens up on the table. There we go. That's my travel dolly, and as somebody who, I guess there's more than one thing that's board game adjacent, as someone who deals with a lot of board games at conventions, a lot of things, this is very helpful for general travel. Sorry about that. This is helpful for general travel, and just for whether you're carrying your luggage, whether you're carrying a stack of boxes, this is very easy. I keep this in the basement. I travel with me whenever I need to walk around with stacks of boxes. It's very helpful. It's like $60 on Amazon, and it's a delightful tool that, again, just for the small form factor, makes things easier to deal with. Do I put this on the table? Let's put it on the table. I like having things on the table. It makes everything look more interesting as you continue to go through the video. My next step from here is we're going to have my number 5. I think we're up to my number 5 is going to be coffee. Now, I like coffee, and I have a separate category for something else entirely, but coffee is something that brings a lot of joy to my life. See, we have coffee, and we have coffee, and we have coffee. These are multiple 5-pound bags of coffee that this showed up today. I've been trying to find some particular flavored coffee and trying to find it at an affordable rate. Basically, I talked about this in a previous video, but I got this Too Many Bones coffee, okay? It's Too Many Bones coffee. It was specifically the caramel and nutty flavor, and it's the best coffee I've ever had. Like, plain and simple, the best coffee I've ever had. It was something else. And I've had other coffees. I've had 12 years of different coffees, and it was the best coffee I've had, but it was expensive. It is expensive. And getting it every single time is like 4 times the price of the normal coffee I pay for. And I'm willing to do it, to be very clear. If I can't find that coffee elsewhere, I'm willing to pay that premium. But I decided to try a few places first, and I heard very good things about this company, Java Bean Plus, I think it's called, Java Bean Plus. I'll let you know how it goes, because honestly, I haven't tried this brand yet. So right now, the recommendation is still Too Many Bones coffee, but I will be trying these out because I've heard very good things about them, and I want to see if they hold up. The only problem is to get a realistic deal on them. You have to buy them in 5-pound bags, otherwise they end up being more expensive. But this way, they end up being only slightly more expensive than my usual coffee, and if they're half as good as the Too Many Bones coffee, that's a worthwhile deal. If I don't like them, I have 15 pounds of coffee. Do you know anyone else coffee? But completely separating this specific type of coffee, specifically separating that, I just like coffee. Every single day, twice a day, coffee is part of my ritual. It's my morning thing and my afternoon thing. It's a treat that, because of number 5, which is my Ember Mug. Number 5 is my Ember Mug over here. Because of number 5, the coffee just enhances my overall day, because twice a day for an hour, I am sitting there sipping my coffee. For an hour, because it stays hot the entire time, because the Ember Mug at my number 5 is a thing that keeps your coffee hot the entire time. This thing is amazing. I've tried to get them to sponsor my videos. They haven't responded at all, and the reason I want them to sponsor them is because I want to tell you to buy this product and get paid for it. Right now, I could just tell you to buy this product. I just can't get paid for it. But that's also how you know that I really believe in this, because I want you to enjoy an Ember coffee. It's not just that it keeps your coffee hot. That's what I thought it was when I first got it, and that's okay, but like, fine, what's the big deal? The thing for me that made the Ember Mug so impactful is that having a coffee that stays hot the whole time meant my coffee experience, my usual morning and afternoon coffee, which previously were like 25-minute long experiences, have turned into hour-long experiences, because apparently when the coffee stays hot, I'm in less of a rush to drink it. I'm not trying to make sure I get it while it's optimal. I'm just having it at the exact a good temperature that I want it at for the entire hour as I sip slowly away at my delicious caramel nutty Too Many Bones coffee. or Java Bean Plus, as the case might be, because that might be what I switch to. I'll let you know in a future video whether that's something I actually stuck with or not. Honestly, by the time this video goes up, I'll have tried this coffee. I'm trying it right after this video, so I'll pin a top comment to this video telling you whether the Java Bean caramel and nutty, one of these over here, no, not that one, this one over here, caramel nut flavor. I'll tell you whether the caramel nut flavor holds up to the caramel and nutty from Too Many Bones. We're up to number 4, right? Number 4 is going to be, what's on my list? I don't even remember what's on my list. We have coffee. We have, number 4. Number 4 is going to be an interesting one, which is specifically my mattress. Now, I don't have a visual aid for that, so I brought a pillow instead. I love my mattress. Dear Lord, I travel a lot. I've been in a lot of Airbnbs. I've been in a lot of hotels. I've been in a lot of beds. My mattress is the best mattress I have had from all of them. Whenever I come home, it is always a delight to be in my mattress. I got it on Amazon. It's a $500 mattress for a king size mattress. You can get it for like $300 for a twin. I highly recommend it. I'm definitely including a referral link to that. If you're in the market for a mattress, my mattress is the best mattress. Now, I'm not saying it's the best mattress for you. Specifically, the way I recommend trying to shop for a mattress is you go to a mattress store to see if you prefer a hybrid, a firm, a pillow top. Check the style that you prefer in a store just to get your personal taste. And then from there, buy it on Amazon because you can get much better quality for a fraction of the price. I specifically have I want to say hybrid, which means it's a springs on the bottom covered by memory foam on the top. So the top half is memory foam, bottom half is springs, so it has a little bit of the bounce and a little bit of the cushion. I love the feel of it, and I've had it for years now, and if it ever stops working the way it's supposed to work, I will buy another one. The day I come home from a hotel and I'm like, you know what, my mattress isn't quite as good as I thought it was, that's the day I replace that mattress. Where's the pillow going to go? This table's getting more and more complicated. So that's my number 4, I think we're up to. Which means now we're number 3, 2, and 1 if I kept track. But I'm looking at my list and I don't think I kept track. Because we covered ChatGPT, we covered Alexa, we have 2 more things. I think we covered too many things, so only I'm down to 2 left. I guess the coffee's number 5, this was number 4, the Ember Mug was number 4, and the number 3 was the mattress, I guess, maybe. It all tracks somewhere in this. They'll track in the timestamps. My number 2 is going to be reading as a category. Reading as a category, specifically I grabbed World Without End over here, which has no box cover, but book cover, but it does have this over here, World Without End. The reason I grabbed World Without End is because I can't find Pillars of the Earth. It was in the basement a week ago. I don't know where Pillars of the Earth went. It was in the basement a week ago. I'm really annoyed. Worst comes to worst, I'll buy another one, but it's here somewhere. I don't know. Either way, Pillars of the Earth as a specific and the general category of reading as a concept is my number 2. I love reading. I used to read a ton. Now I read less. Well, I read rule books a ton. Now I read books less, but I still read a decent amount, and I've been reading through all the Jack Reacher books recently. I started Pillars of the Earth. Oh, it's right over there. It's on my freaking table. Pillars of the Earth is on my table. I was looking on the shelf behind the table. It's on my table. Pillars of the Earth is my favorite book of all time. I adore that book. I think it's amazing. I think it's incredible. I highly, highly recommend it. There's a TV show. I recommend watching the TV show, but read the book first. Please, if you are someone who reads books, read the book first. It is so, so, so good. Like, really good. Like, it's a good book. Read the book. If you like books, read The Pillars of the Earth. I think it's amazing. It will not necessarily be for you, but I will say it's one of his sleeper hits. It's Ken Follett's sleeper hit. It was a different book than we usually wrote at the time, and it became so popular by word of mouth because it's so good. And Pillars of the Earth, it became a TV show. It spawned like 4 offshoot series in there. World Without End is the second one, which I really like. I think Pillars of the Earth is better. Then there's A Column of Fire, which I like, but honestly, I think World Without End and Pillars of the Earth is better. And then there's a new one, Evening and the Morning, which I haven't read. There might be a 5th too. There might be a 5th. I feel like there's a 5th. There's a bunch of these books. The point is that Pillars of the Earth is my favorite book so far, to date, period, bar none, without anything. You know what another great book series is? Jennifer Fallon, the Hytherian Chronicles. Okay, the Hytherian Chronicles is like 7 books to the series. It's gold. Gold. There's good books out there. There's so many good books out there. We're just getting down a small. One time I'll do my top 10 favorite books in a video. Today is not that day. Which brings me to my number 1. It's worth noting this list is not in a particular order, but my number 1 is specifically going to be 2 things combined into one, which is going to be my ponchos and my cloak. Okay, over here, I have ponchos and a cloak. You've seen them in some videos. I wear my ponchos in a bunch of videos, and I've worn my cloak in maybe a handful of videos. I can go ahead and just put it on partially over here, but I'll include links to both of these down below. But these over here are just so comfortable and so nice, especially in the winter when this basement is cold. Okay, this basement gets cold in the winter. My entire studio is my basement of my house. That's what it is, which means In the summer, it's slightly cold, and in the winter, it's freezing cold, and it's where I film, it's where I play games, which means this past winter, I was like, you know what, I could have the heater on all the time, or I could get something that makes me comfortable, and I chose to get something that makes me comfortable. Both of these are amazing. They are slightly annoying when it comes to board game components. The poncho is the worst, like you drape your hand over the table, and it just can mess everything up if you're not careful. But if you know how to manage it, it's fine, and I've learned how to get better at managing it. But both of these, the poncho and the cloak are, and again, I have like 8 ponchos, I have 1 cloak, because the ponchos were like $60 a piece, the cloak was like 180, so I have 1 cloak and like 6 ponchos. But I like them a lot. They are very comfortable. I enjoy them so much, and they bring me joy. And so that's the list. That's the conversation over here. We have coffee, we have Ember Mugs, we have mattresses, we have ChatGPT, Alexa devices, ponchos, JBL Flips, the Oculus Quest. I'll throw links to everything down below, but these are things that are not board games that bring me joy. What brings you joy? Let me know in the comments down below something that you enjoy, whether it's a video game. I mean, when I'm filming this video, everyone and their mother has just gotten Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? I think it's Tears of the Kingdom, right? Breath of the Wild is the last one. They've gotten Tears of the Kingdom, and a lot of people are going through that and enjoying that. I like some video games. I like them a lot. Slay the Spire would be on this list if I was picking one. Slay the Spire, Slice and Dice, and then Oculus Quest stuff. There are a lot of things out there that bring me joy, and I just want to share some of them with you. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.